Hey, what is up everybody? This is xxDAMRONxx. We're playing the LEGO Harry Potter collection, which came out as a compilation of the original LEGO Harry Potter games that were released on the 360. In these videos, we're going to cover all of the collectibles in this game. I'm going to get them in the most efficient way for you guys. In this video, we're going to be covering the Year 2 story missions, and we're going to get all the collectibles, the crests, the character tokens, students in peril, and everything that we need to get in order to get those achievements. So let's start with the first mission in Year 2, which is Floo Powder. And the first thing that we're going to do is right after we spawn, we're going to head to the right side. Just behind this basketball hoop, you'll find a dig spot that we can use. So make sure you have a dig character or someone like Hermione where you can bring Crookshanks in order to dig that spot. So keep in mind, we are playing on free play mode so that we can bring the characters that we need. Generally speaking, you want to have a character that can have dark magic, and the game should kind of give you everything else you need. Now moving on to the Gryffindor crest piece, throughout this area, again on the outside, you're going to find 6 gnomes. And basically using Wingardium Leviosa on these gnomes will put them up into the air. And then you need to use Wingardium again on it, and then it will spin and launch itself somewhere onto the map. And once you've done all 6, you'll get the Gryffindor crest piece. Alright, moving on to the Hufflepuff crest piece, we're going to head to the right side of the house where that basketball hoop was, and you'll see some kind of pumpkin broken material you can get here. Go ahead and use Wingardium Leviosa on that, and you're going to build a pumpkin vehicle. And when you jump into this vehicle, you can actually drive around, and you'll be able to run over these kind of, buried carrots. And what you're looking for is the plants that have 3 leaves and nothing else. You're not, these flowers that you can hit and give you Lego points don't count. It's the ones that are buried. You see that? And when you run over it, a carrot will pop out. And sometimes they're a little weird. You can see I'm running over this one and it takes a minute to pop out, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, there's 7 total carrots, 4 on the right here and 3 are on the left side of the house. Now, once you've got all the carrots out of the ground, then you need to use Wingardium Leviosa on it, and it'll turn it into a carrot rocket. So it's a pretty fun little collectible to grab. But once you, finally do that to all 7 of them, you will get the Hufflepuff crest piece. So once you launch the 7th carrot into the sky, the Hufflepuff crest piece will spawn above it, right there where that blue Lego piece was, because I already grabbed it. So progressing onto the level, when you get to Borgin and Burke's, just to the left, immediately where you spawn, you should see a cabinet with a lock on it that you can shoot with your Reducto spell. Shoot that to save your student in peril. Right beside that cabinet, just to the left, you should see a treasure chest. If you hit that treasure chest, basically it will, if you walk near it, the fangs would hurt you, but if you shoot it, you'll destroy it and you can drop in. And when you drop in, there'll be a dark orb that you can use dark magic on in order to get our next collectible, the Slytherin crest piece. Back up into the main part of the store. Again, we're going to need a character with dark magic. Head to the right side of the store and you'll find another cabinet that you can use your dark magic on, and when you do that, you'll be able to get Arthur Weasley. So once you finish that room and you head out into Nocturne Alley, you'll see the Ravenclaw crest piece on a walkway above you. You'll see it in story mode too, but you can't get it because you need a character that can use dark magic on this gate up here. So use your dark magic to blow that gate up, and then to the right you'll see a wood into a cart here. Just go ahead and use Wingardium Leviosa on that to create a stairwell up to the crest piece. Progressing on to the end of the level, if you just jump back down into Nocturne Alley, before you use a heavy character to pull, up there, you'll see a chest right here to the left. Just shoot that with Harry Potter or whoever to get your next character. And that'll wrap it up for the first mission in Year 2. So now we're going to progress on to the second mission in Year 2, which is Dobby's Plan. And keep in mind, like I mentioned in the first video, we are playing in free play mode, and basically you always want to bring a character that has dark magic. Alright, so starting Dobby's Plan, the first thing we're going to get is the Hufflepuff crest piece, and there's 4 flags that we need to raise. 2 are right here in the beginning, so this is right where you start. And I've kind of cleared out this level a little bit. I'm going to kind of show you where everything is, but I've kind of cleared it out so I can show you the where all these are, and we'll kind of go back to the beginning for a frame of reference. But once you've gotten those 2 Quidditch flags, and you make your way all the way up to where Dobby is near this purple boulder. That's where the second 2 Quidditch flags are. So once you raise all 4 of them, then the Hufflepuff crest piece will spawn right here on this platform. So we're going to start back at the beginning of this level for a frame of reference. Now for the Ravenclaw crest piece, we need to shoot 4 barrels that have flags in them. When you drop down that first ladder, the first one is right there to your left. And then when you jump on this platform, you can find the second one right here in this corner. And then when we make our way across this kind of platform that has all the wizards on it, and you drop here, just to the left, right here, is our third, barrel with a flag in it. And then if you go up the stairs before you go up the ladder that where Dobby was is our 4th flag. Activating all those will give you the Ravenclaw crest piece. So from that, before we go up, now we're going to go back a little bit, just down this stairwell here, and then go behind it, and you're going to find a cabinet that you can use dark magic on. And if you have that, you will get Draco. So we're moving on a ways in the level. Eventually you're going to get to an area where you're seeing some pixies hold a bridge. You can't miss this. Just to the right, you also can see a chest that has some Devil's Snare on it. Use your Luma Solum on it, and then Reducto to break the lock in order to get a Student in Peril. In this same room, to get the Slytherin crest piece, there are 2 scrolls that you need to activate. One right there where I'm shooting, and I already used it. And then when you cross this bridge to the pixies, you're going to find this second one right here beside the barrel that has Dobby in it. So be sure you don't actually pick up Dobby, or it will advance you to the next area. But once you put both scrolls on the wall, you can then interact with the poster with a Slytherin character in order to get the Slytherin crest piece. Moving on into the hospital wing, this is the next section of the level. If you look on the left hand side kind of towards the screen, there's a bed that you can jump on to get Dobby. Once you've made your way into the second room of the hospital wing, if you use a dark magic character, you will notice a item on the left hand screen that you can use your dark magic on. It's kind of this lock, and if you bust that and then you shoot that with X, any spell, it doesn't matter what spell it is, just shoot that after you break off the lock, you can get your next character. In the same room, you probably noticed it on the right hand side, you're going to need a character that can have a key, and it's a vault right here. Just open that up and you'll get your Gryffindor crest piece. Alright, so we're moving on to the third mission in year 2, Crabbe and Goyle. And one thing I'll mention in the free play section of this is I had to actually pick a character that is very strong, aka Hagrid, or you can use Victor Crumb. But when I picked a character with dark magic, it would sometimes not give me a very strong character, but we need one, so be sure to pick that. And for some reason it tended to give me a character with dark magic. Anyway, when you start, you're going to be in the bathroom. On the right hand side, you'll see some things you can blow up with Reducto. Go ahead and blow those up in order to get Vince or Crabbe. Now we need to get the Gryffindor crest piece, and this is why we needed a strong character. In the left hand side of the bathroom, there's going to be a chain that you can pull, and when you pull that, essentially it's going to blow up a bunch of junk. And when you use Wingardium Leviosa on all of this, you're going to be able to build a plunger. And when you build the plunger, now we're going to hop on that, and we're going to go around all these spots of glue or goo and clean them up. And when you clean up all 6, you'll get the Gryffindor crest piece. So moving on to the next section, when you're actually in the Slytherin dorm room, as soon as you come down, you're going to see this pond in the forefront of the screen here. On the left side, there are going to be 2 fish that you need to put in, and on the right, there's going to be 1. Once you put all 3 of those fish in the pond, the Hufflepuff crest piece will spawn. And it will show you right here. It's going to spawn actually back into the left-hand, water over here, right where this blue Lego piece spawns, because I've already collected this earlier. But right there where that blue Lego piece is where your Hufflepuff crest piece will be. Alright, so progressing on to the second room in the Slytherin area, if you pick a character with dark magic, again, right when you spawn, just to your right is going to be an orb that you can cast dark magic on for the Slytherin crest piece. From that, turn around and we're going to get the Ravenclaw crest piece, and to do that we need to interact with 6 lanterns that are up on the ceiling. 2 are to the left right where you spawn, and then if you go behind this guy that's standing on all these glasses, you'll find 2 more, so you've got 4 on the left side of the room. And then if we progress to the right side of the room, we'll find our second 2 on the back side of this wall. So use Wingardium Leviosa on those 2, and now once you have all 6, our Ravenclaw crest piece will spawn right here. From that, let's go ahead and switch to a dark magic character, and if we go to the left hand side again, you should find a cabinet on the right side of the fireplace that you can use your dark magic on in order to get our next character. Once you've got that, we're going to stay here right next to this fireplace. We're going to use Wingardium Leviosa on this broom, and it's going to kind of sweep up this fireplace here. And then we'll be able to use Wingardium Leviosa on all the debris that falls out, and it's going to create a picture above the fireplace, which then you can wave at with a Slytherin character, or I think any character, but either way, you'll have Tom Riddle here, and he'll shoot the glass and free this student in peril. Alright, so now we're going to grab our last collectible and last character in this mission. We'll go back to the right side of the room, and in the back, again, where those same lanterns are, you're going to find a chest that you can use Reducto on. Use Reducto on it, and then shoot the cabinet with X, and we'll get our last character in this level, and our last collectible in this level. So now we can move on to Tom Riddle's Diary, which is level 4 of the Year 2 story missions. And now we're kind of back to normal again. Play free play. Always grab a character that has dark magic. I tend to always pick Tom Riddle. He's the easiest to get. So our first collectible to grab in this level is the Hufflepuff crest piece, and if you look on the left side of the bathroom, you'll see a chest that you can cast Reducto on. Shoot that and it will spawn a plunger. Grab that plunger, and now we're going to plunge up all the water puddles that are in the bathroom, and there's going to be 6 of those, I believe, or 5, sorry. And once you get all 5 of them, then the Hufflepuff crest piece will spawn, and we will have that. In the same bathroom on the right hand side, you need to have a character that has dark magic. Again, that's why we bring Tom Riddle, but anybody that has dark magic. But behind the big sinks here, you'll find a cabinet that you can use dark magic on in order to get our next character. Progressing on in the level, once you kind of get to the first flashback area, there's 6 golden knights that you need to shoot with any spell, just X. 3 are on the bottom, so 1 right when you spawn in, 1 kind of on the middle, and 1 near the end. So there's those 3, and then the other 3 are going to be upstairs. So I've already kind of pieced this all together to make it faster, but you're going to have to build some things in order to be able to walk through all these areas. But once you get the 3 on the bottom, then we can get the 3 on the top. 1 is going to be on the left hand side, which is our 4th overall, and then the other 2 are going to be again kind of in the middle and then all the way to the right. So once you interact with all 6 of those, then you will get the Gryffindor crest piece. Alright, from there we're going to go ahead and get our student in peril, and we need to have a character like Hermione that can interact with these book cabinets, and it's just below that last knight right here, all the way to the right side of the bottom. But once you interact with this book, it's going to spawn a key. So go ahead and pick up that key, and if you take that key all the way to the left side of this bottom room, you're going to find a cabinet that you can use the key on, which will free the student in peril. So as soon as you get into the second part of the flashback section, right where you spawn is going to be a vault. You can't miss it. It's going to be right in front of you, so get a key character out and get our next character. From that vault, we're just going to progress towards the screen down the hallway, and as you get to the end of the hallway, there's going to be a chest kind of hidden in the corner here with a lock on it that you can use Reducto on. Once you use Reducto on that lock, then you can shoot the chest in order to get our Ravenclaw crest piece. So for orientation's sake, we're going to start back at that vault, and now for the Slytherin crest piece, we have to interact with 3 radios in this section. So I've already kind of cleared out this area, but coming from that vault again, as soon as you come around the corner, the first stereo is going to be right here, kind of on the back of the screen behind the stairs. And then once you kind of cross over the stairwell, you're going to go across another stairwell, and the second radio will be right here in front of the rotating bookcase. And then you're going to have to use this table to rotate the bookcase and then swap to whoever rotated over there, and then you can essentially rotate the bookcase to get the other character across. That will open up the gate, and you're gonna have to do some stuff in here in order to be able to progress up. But once you get to the point where you can build these platforms and jump to the next area, you're gonna find your third and final radio to shoot and get the Slytherin crest piece. Also, right beside that crest piece is another vault for our final character, so be sure you grab a character that has a key, open up that vault, and let's get our last collectible in Tom Riddle's diary. Alright, so we're moving on in year 2. This is level 5, which is Follow the Spiders. This is a pretty cool level. As always, make sure we are playing in free play mode, and we're going to be grabbing a character that has dark magic in order to use all the dark magic items that we need to get all the collectibles in this mission. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do in this mission is grab the Slytherin crest piece. And to do that, there's 10 mushrooms that we have to interact with. So I've kind of cleared out this level so I can show you where everything is, but I've already kind of done everything, right? The first brown mushrooms are right to the left, right where you spawn. And then when you come up to this second area, you're going to have 2 more. And then when you're going to have to knock this tree over. But once you cross this tree to the next section, there's going to be 2 more brown mushrooms, one immediately to your left and the one all the way to the right hand side. So go ahead and grab those. So that's 5. And then now you're going to use this broom in order to get across the water. So go ahead and hop on that. And then when you get to the other side of this pond, you're going to immediately see another one right here to the left, right next to this dark magic cabinet. We'll get back to that later. So that's number 6. And then kind of towards the screen is 2 more. One to the right hand side. This is where the pixies stole your ladder. And the other one kind of in the, to the left hand side. So you got 2 on the left and right of the foreground. And then once you've got those, we're going to climb this ladder on the left hand side. We'll kind of jump over those spider web kind of trampolines. And when you get to the area with the pixies holding the tree, you'll find your last 2 mushrooms. So once you grab all of those, that's how you get the green Slytherin crest piece. So let's make our way back a little bit. We're going to get our Ravenclaw crest piece. We're going to go back to that water area. Okay, and once you're in this water area, you should see a large gate right in the middle. You need to use your Reducto on that. By doing that, it will spawn some frogs. Go ahead and hop on those and go through the checkpoints, and you'll get your Ravenclaw crest piece. Alright, so once we do that again, grab that broom and head back over. And now that same cabinet that I showed you just a minute ago, use dark magic on that, and that's how we'll get Professor Sinistra. Same area, again, just to the right of that cabinet. If you climb up this ladder and go to the left, and use our spider web trampoline in order to get Ron in his sweater. So moving on, you're going to be fighting the spider. This is kind of the boss fight of the level. You really can't miss this. It's pretty obvious. If you look to the right side of your screen, you'll see a student in peril that's trapped in some spider webs. Just target them and that will free the character. In the same boss fight for the Hufflepuff crest piece, on the left side, you'll find a orb that you can use dark magic on. Use dark magic to get that crest piece. Same boss fight on the right hand side, you'll also see a chest that has a lock that you need to shoot with Reducto. After you shoot that with Reducto, hit it with a normal spell and you'll get your next character, Lucius Malfoy. Once you've kind of finished off the spider and you get into this car chase, you're going to be progressing down this path. And you kind of want to take your time because there's 5 cabinets that you need to run into in order to get the Gryffindor crest piece. So you see I'm kind of taking it slow, and that's kind of what you want to do because you don't really have too much threat of actually being killed. But once you get your first 2, then you can kind of progress on a little faster because the next 2 aren't until after a cutscene. But the problem with this, if you go too fast, when you get through this, you'll have to restart the whole level because you can't go back up that jump that you just made. All right, that's why you want to take your time. But once you get over that jump with the cutscene, there's going to be 2 more cabinets that you need to find before the next jump. And keep in mind, I'll show you, the next jump is not a cutscene. It's just kind of part of your normal path. And again, you won't be able to go back once you make that jump. So take your time. You don't want to have to do this whole level again just because you weren't taking your time. So you can see now that I've got 2, now I can speed up and essentially go until I go over this next jump. Once you go over the next jump, turn around and you'll find the 5th and final cabinet, right up against the kind of wall you jump down from. So that's it for all of the collectibles in Fall of the Spiders. So we're moving on to the last story mission in year 2, the Basilisk. As always, make sure we're bringing a character like Tom Riddle that has dark magic ability, and let's go ahead and get started. So you're going to start in the bathroom in this level, and you're going to have to use an animal character. You know, I've got Crossshanks up here. You have to do this in order to progress the level, but you're going to essentially interact with this, and when you do, you're going to see some devil snare that wraps around the bathroom stall beside it, and you just need to use Lumos Solum on that in order to free the student in peril. And again, you basically have to do this in order to get the pieces to progress this level, so you'll actually likely have this particular student in peril just from playing through your story mode. So once you fall down from the bathroom into the next section, we're going to have to interact with 4 skeletons in order to get our Gryffindor crest piece. The first one is going to be right beside you, right where you drop down. And then when you kind of head towards the screen over to the left, you'll see a skeleton dancing, ironically right beside the one that you need to rebuild. So go ahead and build the second skeleton right here. And then when you go up this path, again, you'll have to fight a squid right here before you can come up onto the upper path of this room. But once you've taken care of that, make your way all the way around. You're going to have to interact with this particular skeleton in order to progress the level. But for our Gryffindor crest piece, this is our third of 4 skeletons that we need to interact with. So he's going to fish for a plunger, I guess. But anyway, this part is part of the level. You're going to have to do this, right? And once he fishes and gets that plunger, the squid will be over here. You'll build this bridge, okay? So once you've built that and that places it into place, then you'll be able to drop down from that platform for our 4th and final skeleton right beside the squid that's shooting up water. Alright, so from that skeleton, we're going to get our first and second characters in this mission. We're going to go all the way to the left-hand side of the room, and you'll see 2 chests that have Devil's Snare on them. You're going to need to use your Lumos Solum on both of those chests, and then once you have the Devil's Snare off of both of them, you're going to have a dark magic character in order to open them. So you need to have Tom Riddle or a dark magic character, whoever you brought, in order to use dark magic on these chests to get our second and our first and second characters in this mission. In this same underground area, there's 4 dig spots that we need to use an animal. You can bring, Crossshanks or whoever you want. So I've got that from Hermione here. So there's 4 dig spots, one right here. And then if you go kind of towards the screen a little bit to the middle, I don't know why I'm running all the way left over here, but it's kind of in the middle, you'll find the second dig spot. The third dig spot is going to be up on the second level. You can actually jump on this and have one of your AI partners use Wingardium Leviosa to bring your animal up here and get the third dig spot on the second level. And then the 4th dig spot is actually across the bridge. So you have to have built the bridge in order to get to this. So once you've built that, you can jump across the bridge with your animal for your 4th and final dig spot and our Hufflepuff crest piece. So progressing on a little bit, you're going to be into the boss fight itself. On the left-hand side, you should see a grate that you can shoot with Reducto. Once you do that, you can use Wingardium Leviosa to build a bird cage. And once you do that, you will also get the Ravenclaw crest piece. Progressing on into the boss fight a little bit, eventually the Basilisk will go underneath the water, and that's when you know you can kind of do these next collectibles. And the first one is going to be the Slytherin crest piece. Once he goes underwater, some debris will fall down. Some of that debris can be used to build some musical instruments. One is to the left, which is an accordion. That one you need to build, and then you need to use Wingardium Leviosa on it in order to start playing it. And then on the right hand side, you're going to find a trumpet that you can use Wingardium Leviosa on. You don't have to build this, you just need to use Wingardium on it. And then right in front of that is a violin that you need to use Wingardium Leviosa on. And once you use that, you'll have to use Wingardium again to play it. And once you've played all 3 instruments, the Slytherin crest piece will spawn, and that will be our final crest piece of year 2. On the back right in this same boss room. You can't miss it. You can see it right in front of you. This is the vault. You need to have a key character in order to open this, and this is where you're going to get Tom Riddle. You'll probably get this early because this is a character I recommend grabbing early on because he's useful, because he's very easy to get, and we can use him for all of our dark magic collectibles throughout the story. So that's it for year 2. We've got all the collectibles in the story mode of year 2. I hope you all are finding it helpful that found this. This is an old game, but it's super fun, and hopefully I'll see you in year 3.